Representative Bustos has helped introduce legislation that would expand disaster relief funds to locals in more rural areas. 16th District Congressman Adam Kinzinger agrees. He also says the plane may have been shot down by pro-Russian separatists. President Obama says he will bypass a divided Congress and take executive action on immigration reform. The Illinois coffee is a tradition that started nearly 30 years ago to provide an open forum for Illinois senators to meet up with visitors over coffee and donuts. It was on this path of the C&O Canal where Lou began the last leg of her 935-mile trek to the nation's capital. For companies across the country, the Hobby Lobby ruling was about more than dropping birth control coverage.
They don't want to provide something that can take a human life.
Washington, D.C.'s Family Research Council says this is a victory for businesses everywhere.
We want to make sure that our beliefs don't have to go against the ability to own a business or offer health insurance to employees.
Tyndale House, the world's largest publisher of Bibles and other Christian books, is in a similar lawsuit in Illinois.
The idea that we should tell people that they need to set aside their faith or their morality in their business practices is a bad idea.
Grosu and Maddox say the decision protects women's religious rights, but other groups argue the ruling will bring serious harm to women.
This opens the door for bosses to say, well, it's against my religious belief to cover, let's say, immunizations.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin agrees. He says companies cannot have religious beliefs.
For a company that sells crafts like Hobby Lobby to stand up and say, we're a religious operation. No, you're not. This is a personal conviction, a private decision. Government, get out of the way.
But there could be more legislation to come. In Washington, Elizabeth Beeson, Eyewitness News. Every stitch of clothing made here at one of the world's largest tie-dye factories is made in America.
We first bring in the organic fabric, then they get sewn together here, and after this they will go over to the dye floor and get custom dye work done.
It's a practice some Democrats say should be rewarded.
I would love to see the Made in the USA label on these products, so I've got a choice to make this country stronger.
Manufacturing jobs are disappearing, and companies are finding it easier to make their goods overseas. But at Sundog Production, Made in the USA is still a viable business model. But when huge orders from big box stores started pouring in, Sundog opened a second factory in Guatemala, where employees were paid just $12 a day.
Here, it's hard to find someone that'll work for $12 an hour. You're going for a short-term gain for an ultimate long-term loss.
That's tempting about a dozen U.S. companies, including Illinois-based drugstore chain Walgreens, to consider moving their headquarters abroad.
A company that has been profitable and made billions of dollars in America now wants to lessen its American tax bill by moving overseas.
Another loss. If Walgreens, which makes money from Medicare, does not pay its fair share of taxes.
Medicare is not going to be able to be funded, so basically they're taking away their own dollars.
Some economists say companies should be taxed at the American rate, no matter where the profit is earned. In Washington, Elizabeth Beeson, Eyewitness News.